When Joshua Turner signed the rental agreement, he didn't even read the last clause. The realtor was in a hurry. It was almost 9 in the evening, and all he wanted was to move in and go to sleep. The third apartment on the 3rd floor of the old building looked much better than the previous ones. Spacious windows, wooden floors, thick brick walls, and the price, almost half the market rate. He was even surprised. Why is it so cheap? The realtor paused for a second, then smirked. The house is old. Some are bothered by noisy neighbors. Does that scare you? Josh shrugged. After a year living next to young TikTokers, he was ready to endure even a neighbor with a trumpet. But on the very first night he realized the problem wasn't the neighbors. A knock, slow, even, at the center of silence. Knock, knock, knock. It started at 3:17 a.m. Josh woke up to a faint floor vibration. At first, he thought, the neighbor downstairs. But listening closely, he realized the sound came from above. The 3rd floor. His floor. He walked around the entire apartment. No one. The ceiling was intact. No footsteps. The knock repeated exactly 5 minutes later. And again, and again. He noted the times. Every time, exactly 5 minutes apart. 3:17, 3:22, 3:27, 3:32. At 3:47, everything stopped. The next day, Josh asked the neighbor, an elderly woman from the 6th floor, "Does anyone live above me?" She shook her head. "No. 4th and 5th floors are for storage. No one lives there." The elevator doesn't even go up there. And the knocking. Knocking! She sharply looked into his eyes. Best not to pay attention. Just don't open the door when you hear the 3rd knock. The knocking came again the next night. Same rhythm, same pauses. Only this time, it began to change. On the 5th repeat, exactly at 3:42, something scratched beneath the floor of his bedroom, as if nails or claws were scraping the wood. Josh froze in bed, not daring to move. Everything went silent for a second. And then came the 3rd knock, louder than the rest, like a blow to the chest. He remembered the woman's words, "Don't open the door." But he wasn't going to. All the doors were locked. He sat alone in the silence, heart pounding like mad. The knocking stopped, but in the darkness of the bedroom, he saw the doorknob slowly turning, even though the door was locked from the inside. The handle turned slowly, creaking, as if someone was trying to come in without knocking. Or after it. Josh froze, not believing his eyes. He had definitely locked every door, double-checked. But now, click. The handle stopped in a horizontal position, as if the door should have opened, but jammed. Then it returned to place. Silence. And then came, already in the hallway, outside the apartment. Knock, knock, knock. He covered his face with his hands. It wasn't a dream. In the morning, he tried to convince himself it was his imagination. Or maybe the old building just made strange noises. He worked from home, a designer, spent a lot of time in front of the screen. Maybe he was just overworked. But that evening, something strange happened again. While washing dishes, the hallway light flickered and went out. Only one. The others stayed on. Josh walked into the hallway and turned on the flashlight on his phone. The bulb had been unscrewed, almost all the way. He was alone in the apartment. The door locked with a chain. That night, he didn't sleep. Made coffee, opened his laptop, opened all the windows. The knocking began at 3:17, again every 5 minutes. But now it moved, first in the bedroom, then in the hallway, then right above the bathroom. The scraping got worse. Something rustled between the walls, and like before, at 3:47, knock, knock, knock. The third knock, and again, the doorknob turned. This time, Josh rushed to the door and flung it open. No one. Empty stairwell. Darkness. Only faint echo from the stairs, as if someone walked barefoot upstairs, but left no sound, only a trace of fear. The next morning, he went back to the neighbor, but her door was open, and inside, the police. "Are you a relative of Mrs. Vander?" "No, neighbor. What happened?" The officer looked at him. "The old woman died last night, presumably heart attack, but she was found in a strange pose by the door, as if she was trying to keep someone out." At 3:47, Josh blurted out. The officer frowned. "How do you know that?" Josh didn't answer. He decided he had to go up to the 4th floor, see what was there. Maybe someone was living there after all. Maybe it was just a prank. Rationality still flickered in him, like a dying flashlight. The climb was hard. The stairs to the 4th floor were dusty, covered in cobwebs. The door to the hallway, half open, with rusty hinges. He stepped forward. A long corridor. Lonely doors, no light, no sound, only at the end, an old door marked 3, just like his. He approached, reached for the handle, and suddenly, from inside came knock, knock, knock. Josh recoiled from the door. The knocking didn't come again, but it felt like someone was waiting. On the other side, not moving, not breathing, just watching. He took a step back, then another. Turned, and ran down the stairs, as if behind him a maw was about to open. Something alien, unnatural, inhuman. He tried to leave, packed his things that same day, called a taxi to a hotel, wanted to get away forever. But something strange happened in the car. The GPS, which he hadn't touched, rerouted itself. He tried to reset it. It didn't respond. The screen flickered, and a voice, mechanical, hoarse, alien, said, "The 3rd floor. Won't let go." Josh hit the tablet and told the driver to turn. But it was too late. The car stalled right in the middle of the intersection. All electronics inside died. He returned to the apartment late that night, not because he wanted to, but because he had to. The key turned by itself in the lock. The hallway light turned on, as if he was expected. There was an envelope on the floor. No address, no signature. Inside, an old yellowed photograph. A shot of the stairwell, his building. And he was in it, standing on the 3rd floor. Only the photo was dated 1963. He didn't remember falling asleep, but he woke at 3:47. A knock sounded. Knock, knock, knock. The knock came from inside the apartment. He stepped into the hallway, heart pounding in his throat. On the bathroom door, fresh scratches. 3. He slowly turned the handle. Darkness, the mirror, fogged, and in it he saw himself. Only not himself. The face, unfamiliar, eyes empty, mouth slightly open. And from the mirror came, "Now you are the 3rd. A week later, a new tenant moved into Josh's apartment. A young guy, also a designer, also looking for silence. The neighbors downstairs started hearing rustling at night again. And 3 knocks, always at 3:47. On the entrance doors, someone had written, "Floors don't count those who stayed. They count those who haven't left yet."